11 pedestrians in Virginia have been killed within the past 2 weeks, including one man in Albemarle County. That happened on Route 29, which is notoriously dangerous to cross. Maggie Glass investigates what's being done now to make things safer.
It's really scary. I walk a lot, and I don't like crossing 29.
Tiffany Wells frequently walks across Route 29 to get groceries, shop, and do what she needs to do. So did her roommate, Charles Gray, until he was struck and killed by a driver on February 20th.
Charles was a hard worker. He had a big heart.
This is where Albemarle County Police say Gray was crossing when he was hit, in between Hydraulic Road and India Road.
I know Charles. He is very cautious when he crosses this road.
Wells says this is not the first time someone she knows was hit walking in this area.
It's real bad out here. They don't really have good pedestrian marks for people like us that walk these streets.
These roads belong to the Virginia Department of Transportation. VDOT says something is being done to help make things safer.
We're going to be adding a pedestrian bridge. We're also going to be adding a crosswalk across 29, a signalized crosswalk. It'll have the countdowns.
This project is currently underway. The priority is for everyone to make it to their destination safely.
Safety completely, trumps everything.
Not every road can undergo these types of renovations. Some don't have crosswalks or even sidewalks, but there are still other ways to make roads safer, starting with drivers.
Big thing is limit the distractions. Obviously, the more you're aware of your surroundings, the safer you can be.
And for pedestrians,
make yourself as visible as possible. If you have to walk alongside a road, walk against traffic.
Maggie Glass, 29 News.
Over the past 2 months, 29 News has been digging into data and speaking with surrounding schools to see what books are off limits. And what 29 News found out with Charlottesville City Schools and Albemarle County Public Schools tell a completely different story.
There was about 9 books that had been set up that had instructional parameters put around them, with the most recent being about a decade ago, or over a decade. It was in 2011.
Monica Kabarkis is a lead instructional coach with Albemarle County Schools. She's their point person on this issue. Books with instructional parameters is one way of saying books that, in some places, have come under fire for what's inside. In Albemarle schools, there are 9 titles, not necessarily banned, but with rules for how they can be used in schools. These include Bridge to Terabithia, The Education of a Little Tree, The Great Gilly Hopkins, Hatchet, It's Perfectly Normal, Living Dogs and Dead Lions, Romeo and Julio, Seed Folks, and the most recent, A Study in Scarlet.
They have instructional parameters around them, and each one has something different, like be aware of this component or reach out to parents, just little notations on them.
When 29 News asked Charlottesville City Schools about having any books banned, they say they have heard complaints, but it has never ended with any titles being restricted.
I'm sure parents have had questions with librarians or teachers in the past, but those questions have been resolved.
Beth Chuck is a spokesperson for Charlottesville City Schools. She says an issue over a book has never reached the division level committee for review.
Those situations typically resolve themselves within a conversation.
Chuck tells 29 News that if a conversation alone does not do the trick, CCS does have a protocol in place.
Beyond that, if the questions were not resolved, we have a form on the website that somebody could fill out to start the official process for a review.
That form is called a request for review of materials and is a part of school board policy. This is what it looks like and what it says, and we'll have a link on our website for you to read if you wish. Kerbarkis says the process for Albemarle County Schools starts similarly, with a conversation over raised concerns.
It could be a teacher or an administrator or a librarian that receives the initial complaint, but then it would be moved forward to the principal, who's the instructional leader of the building.
The series of steps is outlined in school board policy. We'll also have this on our website for you to read.
The principal would make the parent aware of all of the steps involved in the formal process.
Kerbarkis tells 29 News the parent or guardian can then fill out an official request through a form. The citizen's request for reconsideration of learning resources form is public on the school division's website.
and then it would move forward to them building a committee to review those materials.
Chuck tells 29 News that there are a few hot topics that have attracted controversy elsewhere.
Nationally, these things are disproportionately focused on Black authors, Black history, LGBTQ topics.
In Virginia, there is one topic that always requires parents to be notified.
And it's the one that requires parents to receive 30 days advance notice of any text that involves sexually explicit materials.
This falls under Virginia Code 22.1-16.8, adopted in 2022, and lays out requirements for all Virginia schools.
We have worked out procedures and teachers have received training on that, and we're all pretty much have protocols in place for any books that would fall under that.
But both school systems agree they do all they can to make sure students have access to interesting yet age-appropriate reading materials.
And we want to make sure that our students feel seen and welcomed and have the chance to learn and grow in our libraries.
Our ultimate goal as educators is to make sure that we match students with compelling texts that match their interests.
Amaya Mitchell, 29 News.
Charlottesville City Attorney was paid almost a year's salary when he left his job after an investigation into his actions inside City Hall ended, while the city announced his retirement.
They did not, however, mention the check he received on the way out the door. That information took a 29 News investigation and a hard push from our lawyers. Maggie Glass is live in the newsroom with the story you're seeing here first. Good evening, Maggie.
Hey, Steve. The city attorney's name was Jacob Stroman. The check he received on his last day was for more than $189,000, $162,000 of that in severance.
Jacob Stroman started as Charlottesville city attorney in July of 2023. His salary was just over $217,000 a year. In April of 2024, according to the city, he was placed on paid administrative leave pending an investigation into an unspecified claim. In September, his retirement was announced. A city release said that he was exonerated of the pending claims from the investigation.
People leave the city for all kinds of reasons.
Eden Ratliff is a deputy city manager. He oversees finance and human resources.
It depends on the employee, it depends on their circumstances.
Stroman's departure set in motion a series of Freedom of Information requests about how much he was paid when leaving. We started by asking City Hall for the numbers. They denied that request, saying it was a personnel matter. We disagreed, pointing to the fact that it's taxpayer money being spent. It took this letter, citing court cases, from our lawyers to the city to get the information.
We have absolutely no heartache in terms of releasing public information.
Bottom line, according to this payroll summary provided by the city, upon Stroman's departure, the city wrote him a check for $189,326 and netted out to $104,516.
This isn't a regular cadence for the city.
Ratliff says this is the only big dollar payout they've had in 2024.
There are some employees who have employment agreements that address things like a severance payment.
Ratliff added, the city is careful with its money, this matter included.
We've tried to contact Mr. Stroman but have not heard back from him yet. The position for a new city attorney is still open. In the meantime, the Richmond-based company Sands Anderson is temporarily filling that spot. Live in the studio, Maggie Glass, 29 News.
This is 29 News at 5.
Thanks for joining us. People from all around the country today got a look at an event that won't be visible again in the U.S. till 2044. For a few minutes, the moon covered the sun, leaving parts of the country in complete darkness. 29 News meteorologist Josh Fitzpatrick was in the path of totality. He gives us a look at the total solar eclipse from Lima, Ohio. It's our top story at 5.
All right, folks, this is the moment millions have been waiting for across the country, the total solar eclipse. People have been coming from near and far here across Northwest Ohio, and I have to tell you, we are about 1 minute away from totality, maybe a little bit less now, here in Northwest Ohio. And there's a very eerie feel to the air. The temperature's dropping. It was 70 degrees with a breeze, and now the temperature is probably 60 degrees out here. And you can see all around me, it's getting darker, progressively darker. We have a few high, thin cirrus clouds overhead, but that's not really blocking our view of the total solar eclipse. In fact, we are in the heart of the eclipse, the totality zone, and it could last nearly 4 minutes right here. So we are right now seconds away, and if I look at the sun, I still need the solar eclipse glasses. because we are about 90%. Here's what I'm seeing right now. I'm seeing the diamond ring as the moon closes in on the sun. And what I'm going to be seeing here shortly is Bailey's beads. That is where the sun is shining through the moon's craters. Folks, we are seconds away from totality, and I have to tell you, I have never experienced anything like this before in my life. This is a very strange atmosphere across the area. In fact, the shadow of the moon is moving nearly 2,000 miles per hour, and we are seconds away from totality. So I do not need my glasses right now, and if I look up at the sun, we are now in totality right here. I'm seeing the ring. There it is. There's the diamond ring. I am seeing the corona. I don't know if you can see it on the camera here, but I am seeing the corona of the sun. It's a ring around the sun. I can see the atmosphere. It's just expanding away. I can see some planets here. That is Jupiter to the lower right. And in fact, around me is a 360 sunset. This is unbelievable. There are folks out here from all across the area. In fact, I'm in a perfect spot because I kind of moved away from the huge crowds. But here it is, 10 minutes after 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it is dark. All right? This is absolutely amazing. This is something that you have to see in person. All right, so I'm going to soak in this scenery, and I'm going to send it back to Charlottesville. I'm Josh Fitzpatrick, 29 News in Lima, Ohio.
A grandmother's love led a Stewart's draft woman to Hurricane Helene-affected Tennessee, bringing with her a tractor trailer full of supplies to help. Avery Davis shows us what she saw and how you can help from home. She joins us live in studio.
Hey Steve, for Valerie Smith, Hurricane Helene hit close to home. That's because her kids and her grandkids live near the North Carolina-Tennessee border. Smith says she will never forget the horror she saw when she arrived with the desperately needed help.
She would send me the videos, and it was just devastating.
Videos of Helene's wreckage
That's gone.
There's the truck.
from her daughter in Tennessee that made Valerie Smith leap into action.
I said, this is where I need to be. This is where we need to go.
Smith drove this tractor trailer filled to the brim with relief goods to eastern Tennessee. She says what she saw after arriving will stay with her forever.
As we pulled up, it breaks your heart. You see a house and you see another house that's slid into it, but there are bicycles and baby dolls and a man's tie. People's stained glass lamps, their pottery.
Smith says the most heartbreaking part, seeing how similar these mountains look to the ones at home and realizing how lucky she was.
You'd go 1 mile, go down a couple of miles, and it looked okay. It looked like home. It looked like here. You turn a corner and part of the road was missing, or the gully on the side of the road.
What these people need right now, she says, everything.
And then they're gonna need water and just regular, food supplies like we're taking now, and it's because it will be, they said, 4 to 6 months.
Smith says she hopes people will not forget about the people she met. Homes destroyed and lives that may never be the same. She says it will only get worse in the coming months as the weather cools and people are without heat or warm clothes.
You're thankful for what you have. And you hope that people have a big enough heart that they're willing to say, yeah, what can we take these people to help to make winter a little more bearable? Because it's going to be bad.
Smith says her next goal is to bring down gifts for the holidays. She hopes people will continue to donate in any way possible. Live in the studio, Avery Davis, 29 News at 5.
10 kids from the Central Virginia Boys and Girls Club went on a shopping spree with the help of some police officers. As a part of Shop with a Cop, Albemarle County police officers joined the youngsters in Dick's Sporting Goods to pick out some Christmas presents. Each child had a $100 budget. They got all sorts of items like basketballs, water bottles, and shoes.
Awesome. They just get to know us one-on-one. We're just normal people, just having to be in a uniform.
The kids got everything they wanted, and there was a few things that they had on their Christmas list that sometimes the parents weren't able to do it, but they came here and they were able to, thanks to these guys.
Both Dick's Sporting Goods and the police department donated the money for the kids' gifts.
Trying to enjoy the holiday season while dealing with grief can be tough for a person's mental health. Hospice of the Piedmont is hoping to help bring some relief by hosting a holiday grief workshop. The The group will help walk people through strategies to best care for yourself during this time, and anyone is welcome to join.
Give yourself grace and permission of, you know, things are going to look different. So do what feels right and true for you, and lean on the supports that are available to you. And we are one of those resources if you need continued support outside of just the workshop.
That grief workshop is online via Zoom. It takes place this Wednesday evening from 5:30 to 6:30. Information on how to register is linked on our website. The Blue Ridge Area Food Bank now has hundreds of turkeys thanks to a partnership between Kroger and UVA football. Jacob Phillips shares how many frozen birds were donated for this year's Touchdowns for Turkeys initiative.
For me to be able to, come to this food bank and be able to unload turkeys and just other stuff that I've done within the community, it means the world.
Elijah Gaines is a cornerback with UVA football. He was one of several players who helped drop off a massive turkey delivery to the Blue Ridge Area Food Bank.
The donation today really helps fill the gaps and ensures that people have food on their table, but it also sends a message of hope.
For each touchdown UVA scored this season, Kroger pledged to donate 10 turkeys to the food bank. UVA scored 31 touchdowns, but the food bank ended up getting 500 frozen turkeys.
It was always great times and great glory being out there on the field, scoring touchdowns, having wins, and having those experiences, but being able to give back, being able to be in the community and being able to have that impact not only on Charlottesville, but the people around. That's the best part about it.
Linebacker Stevie Bracey was also in the group of players unloading turkeys.
We have an opportunity and a platform to give back to a lot of people, and using the platform in the right way as doing something like this is one of the main experiences, the main things that we're trying to do to give back using that platform.
Michael McKee, Chief Executive Officer of the Blue Ridge Area Food Bank, says the need for food is greater than during the heart of the pandemic. He says it takes community efforts like this one to help change that.
So it all comes down to community. It all comes down to individuals and churches and civic groups and small businesses and the colleges and universities. That's what it takes to get this job done.
In Charlottesville, Jacob Phillips, 29 News.
A troop out of Ivy now has its very first female Eagle Scout. It's the highest rank you can earn in Boy Scouts of America, which opened to girls a few years ago. Kay Nectarline shows us how the 18-year-old from Crozet is proving anything a boy can do, she can do too.
In its 2.5 years of existence, Troop 3125 had never had a girl reach the rank of Eagle Scout. But then, 18-year-old Emerson changed that forever.
In my years of scouting, I didn't see any activity that I had to do that I was like, wow, I can't do that because of my gender. That was never something that I thought.
Right here at St. Paul's Ivy, Emerson Terborg made history. Just a few weeks ago, she got the call.
I didn't even listen to the rest of the explanation. All I heard was, all right, you're an Eagle Scout. And I was like, brain is tricked out.
Erica Pretty is the Scoutmaster for Troop 3125. She says Scouts usually have about 7 years to earn their Eagle rank. But because Boy Scouts only opened to girls in 2019, Emerson had to do it much faster.
For her, it was just an accelerated. I think it required even more of that determination for her to get it done. So that's really impressive.
Emerson's mother, Julie, says she was proud but never surprised.
Emerson is an anomaly. She's incredible. She's the one who comes home and goes straight to work. She would come home, go straight to her homework, then, come out of her room, ask if she had any chores. I think the only teenager that asks for chores.
The final step in becoming an Eagle Scout is completing a project that benefits your community. Emerson turned to a place close to her heart, Crozet Library.
I've always loved reading. I'm a book nerd. So I kind of wanted to have my Eagle project do something with both communities that I really have benefited from, try and give back a little.
After a lot of hard work, that idea turned into this, a little free library.
What I really liked about her project is that she didn't necessarily pick it because that's what she wanted to do. She spoke to the library, knew she wanted to do something that would benefit them, and that's what they asked for.
Once you become an Eagle Scout, you wear that honor for the rest of your life. Julie says for her daughter, that goes beyond a medal or a badge.
As a female, it's hard to speak up for yourself. Many times. It's sad. I hate saying that, but it's true. Scouts empowered her, and that's what I'm so excited about.
Emerson says she feels the same way.
There were a few guys who did say things like, go back to Girl Scouts. I'm just not going to take that stuff anymore.
The troop tells me they already now have a few other girls who are close to becoming Eagle Scouts. In Albemarle County, Kate Nectarline, 29 News.